Hello, today we are talking favorites. I thought it'd be fun to go through my makeup collection and pick my top 3 favorite products from each drugstore brand. I don't have every single drugstore brand featured in here, but the most popular, well-known ones. I didn't cover like NYX, Kokie Cosmetics. Don't get me wrong, there's products that I love from those brands, but I couldn't really find 3 that I thought were like, okay, these are without a doubt my ride or dies, and I didn't want to just grab 3 for the sake of the video. All the products featured in today's video are just very well-loved products that I repurchase time and time again, or ones that I would instantly go out and repurchase if I ever lost them. So let's go ahead and kick it off with Maybelline. The very first product should come as no surprise if you are a regular here on my channel. This is one of their newer mascara releases, but ever since I got it in my little baby paws, I have not been able to put it down. I'm already on my second tube. I do purchase it in waterproof. And basically, if you have straight and stubborn lashes, first of all, grab yourself a waterproof formula. Second of all, make it the Maybelline Sky High because it is really, really good. I've been actually wearing it as a combo that I will share shortly later on in the video. The next favorite are the Superstay Matte Inks. My 2 most worn shades are Globetrotter and Amazonian. If you are looking for a great, vibrant, punchy, slightly orangey red shade, especially this time of the year, Globetrotter is stunning. Another benefit, it really makes your teeth look whiter. While they are matte, they're not super drying like the typical matte liquid lipstick that you can find out on the market. These are incredibly long wearing. It takes some sort of cleansing oil or butter at the end of the day to remove it. And then finally, this is a newer product to my line. I was really surprised that a complexion product didn't make it in. Honestly, I was gonna originally put in the Maybelline eye brightener, like the Crank Up concealer, but I haven't been using that quite as much within the last year, so this is the product that I've been reaching for more. It definitely took me forever to try this. I know it's been out for quite a few months now, maybe even a year by now. Who even knows with time these days? I haven't purchased more just because I have an insane gloss collection. The only thing is I'm not crazy about the scent. A lot of people are like, oh, it's fruity and it smells so good. There's definitely better smelling glosses out there. It kind of has that weird bubble solution sort of scent mixed with like a fruity vanilla type of smell, but the actual color and the formula is very nice. It definitely does perform like a high-end lip gloss. So there's Maybelline. I don't know why, whenever I think Maybelline, the next drugstore brand that always pops into my head is L'Oreal, which back in the day, I felt like L'Oreal was like the it brand from the drugstore. I do have a foundation pick from L'Oreal. While I remember loving their Pro Glow, I haven't worn that in so long, but if you are looking for a long wear foundation that doesn't feel thick or heavy on the face, works whether you have dry skin or oily skin, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear is amazing. I've heard people recently compare this to the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I don't have that in my collection anymore. I have gone through 2 bottles and I just haven't reached for it again, but I definitely don't feel or remember it looking the same way. Like maybe the overall like thinness and how liquidy it is. Getting more of a dewy finish with the Luminous Silk Foundation. I could be wrong because it's been a while. Either way, this foundation is great. I feel like this would make a great foundation for an event just because it does have great buildable coverage. You can keep it more on the medium side though and just gradually build up from there. More than anything, it's the overall finish and the way that it feels on the skin that makes it really nice. Plus, L'Oreal is always a great brand at the drugstore that has a very wide shade range. So if you haven't tried this one yet and you like long wearing, something that you can build up to full coverage, this one is definitely worth a try. Okay, where did I put my other Maybelline products? Maybe right in front of you, Dana. Next up, these you're actually gonna see again in an upcoming empties video. The L'Oreal True Match LUMI Glotions are amazing. I have shade Fair and Deep Glow that I finished. A lot of people used to say that this was the closest dupe they could find at the drugstore for like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. I don't think that they're similar, but if you're just looking for a great product to give your skin a glow without actual like pieces of glitter in it, these are a great option. I mean, I've used 2 of them up to their entirety. I personally love them. There's no weird smell. And it's a product that you can mix in with a foundation without it like really disrupting the formula. Next up from L'Oreal, this isn't actually the shade that I love the most, while I do still really like this one. The one that I really love, I think it's Glossy Fawn. It's something fawn. I just talked about it recently. It has to be in one of my purses, but it's one of the L'Oreal Color Riche Plump and Shine. But the Plump and Shine in Nectarine Plump is also really nice. If you go in with any sort of like punchy coral lip liner and then apply this on top, it's just a beautiful like just bitten popsicle type of look. I really like how glossy these are. The only thing is, do not leave these in your car because they definitely will melt. Next up, let's go into Flower Beauty. My very first favorite from the line, I'm grabbing the foundation, but it would definitely be the blush bombs. I love cream blushes. Have you noticed more and more brands lately are coming out with cream blushes, cream bronzers, skin tints? Everyone is going for that like laid back model off duty. I hate that description, but I feel like that's what people say. Just natural skin type of vibe. These have been out for years and years, but they are so, so good. On my cheeks right now, I am wearing a mixture of both Nectar and Pinched, but my go-to is Cinnamon. These are just amazing liquidy blushes that they don't set down flat. They just kind of set down with a natural, very subtle satin sheen. So they just look very glowy and healthy on the face. If you're looking for something really fun and vibrant during these warmer months, Watermelon, oh no, just Melon is a really good one. For Light Illusion Foundation, you have to appreciate a dewy finish in order to like this foundation. Both the packaging and the formula are very luxe and high-end feeling to me. I have the shade Soft Sand M2. The concealer in this line, I actually hated, which I was really sad about because the formula of the foundation is so good. I thought for sure I would love the concealer. There was just something really, really weird about the concealer. I feel like it accentuated every single fine line under my eyes. Just wasn't a good look. And then finally, this is a product that not too many people talk about. Mine is actually completely dried out now. I did use most of it. This is their, it's Flower Beauty, their Warrior Glitter Shadows. Now, at one point I had every single one of these. I decluttered quite a few of them because the formula is not the same throughout the whole line. However, the shade Camo is stunning. If you have brown or hazel eyes, go in with just like a camel shade in your crease. And then if you have Dirty Martini from Makeup Geek, you can lay some of that down and then dab some of Camo on top. It is the most beautiful, just sexy, sultry, green, dirty olive martini smoky eye. And it just really makes brown and hazel eyes pop. Something about the other shades though, they would make my eyelids burn a lot like the ColourPop liquid, or was it liquid glitter or just liquid shadows? I was never really able to use those on my eyes, and it was the same case for the other shades in the Warrior glitters, but for whatever reason, Camo gave me no issues, and it's such a beaut. Let's go ahead and move on to Milani. I know so many people love the Milani baked blushes and bronzers. I swear those used to be so much better way back when, early 2000s. Something about the formula definitely changed. I feel like Luminosa looks nothing like it used to. I think the rose powder blushes are definitely my favorite from the brand. The two shades that I kept are Romantic Rose and Awakening Rose. The formula reminds me a lot of the Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes in the way that they're just super soft and silky. You can pick up a lot on a brush, but it really blends out beautifully and it lasts on your cheeks all day. If you haven't tried these yet and you love more of like a matte or slightly satin type of blush, I think you would really enjoy these. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer. I currently have mine in the shade 125, which is a little bit too light right now. It took me forever to try this concealer because I hated the Conceal and Perfect foundation. I just thought it was way too much. It was too thick on the face and it just really made my pores stick out. I didn't like the overall finish of it, but the concealer is really good. It's drier than the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, but it's not heavy. It's just, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It just dries down faster. As long as you go in and blend it in, it still feels really nice and lightweight on the eyes, but gives you the same sort of coverage that you get from the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. The Milani Weekend Brow Eyebrow Tint, I have mine in 130 medium brown. I bought this in a shade Too Light, but instead of decluttering it, I've been using it as my winged liner on days when I want just more of shadow liner. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes if you go in with a stiff angled brush and create a wing just with a dark brown eyeshadow, it just looks much softer than going in with a traditional like gel liner, pencil liner, or traditional liquid liner. That's kind of how this works. See how it's a little bit more transparent? This shade just creates the best everyday winged liner for me. Next up, let's go to Physicians Formula. This brand, I could really only narrow it down to two products. While I love the liquid liner, I've just been enjoying that Milani Weekend Brow so much more that I kind of knocked the Physicians eyeliner out of the way, but that's just personal preference. If you're looking for a great opaque jet black liner from the drugstore that's long wearing, Physicians Formula one is really, really good. Like I said, it's just kind of personal preference right now for me. However, their All-Star Face Palette is bomb.com. So in here you have 2 bronzers, 2 highlighters, an all-over face powder, and then a blush. While I love everything and I think it's such a great travel-friendly product, is the Matte Minoy Butter Bronzer. To me, this is so much better than the classic butter bronzer. The warmth of it, the way that it blends out, just I don't know, something about this formula just trumps the butter bronzer in my opinion. I just find that I have to dip into it less, and more than anything, it's the color of it that I love. And I did find out they do in fact sell this Matte Minoy bronzer in singles. I do still really like everything in the palette. And if you're someone that travels a lot, I just think it would be a great palette to have. The other favorite from Physicians Formula, this is one of their bronzing sticks. This is a product that I really wish they would expand their shade range. I haven't checked recently, but when I purchased it, there was only 2 shades. I use the shade Toffee. If you've been on the hunt for a cream bronzer from the drugstore and you are from like fair to maybe like medium, even like medium deep, I feel like you could still make this work. Physicians Formula, this formula is so good. Just expand your shade range so everyone could have a shade. Okay, next up from CoverGirl. Earlier I mentioned a mascara combo that I love wearing with the Maybelline Sky High, and it's a classic. This is a doozy. It's the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume. I feel like this was at its peak whenever Revlon Photo Ready was the foundation that everyone loved from the drugstore. I've been wearing this just on top of the Maybelline Sky High, mainly concentrating it on my outer lashes. There's something about Lash Blast that is just so black and dark. The other product from CoverGirl is one that nobody really ever talks about. I checked on Ulta. It's not sold on Ulta, but I think I found it on Walmart's site, CVS, and Walgreens. I'll go ahead and link all the stores that I found it down below. These are the full spectrum Sculpt Expert cheek palettes. The actual highlighters in here perform like freaking Becca highlighters. If you are looking for something very metallic, just a beaming highlighter, do not sleep on these. I don't know why nobody talks about them, because they are the butteriest, softest, silkiest highlighters. Even just for like blush and bronzer toppers, I mean, you have to go in with like bink, the tiniest little bit on your brush, because I'm telling you, they really pack a punch. This is the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. I have mine in 550 light medium. I did an entire review about this product in my recent skin tints from the drugstore, so if you guys would like to check out that one. I just did a speed review of I think either 6 or 7 different skin tints from the drugstore. If you love something just very light, everyday wear that is just kind of makes you like, instead of the your lips but better, it's your skin but better type of look, this one is great. I'll go ahead and link the video just so you can really see it in action over there, but it's good. It's good. I haven't tried the powder or the concealer from the line. I know they actually make cream blushes or liquid blushes in this same Clean Fresh line. If they're good and you've tried them, let me know down below. Am I missing out? I need to know. We have Revlon. I sort of cheated in this category. I mean, like technically, but not really. The Revlon SKINLIGHTS, both the bronzer and the highlighter, these are incredible. I'm wearing both the bronzer and the highlighter today. What I love about this bronzer is it's one that is very buildable and just very user-friendly. You can really go in and keep it very light and sheer, or just slowly build it up to a medium coverage. I mean, I don't care how much you pack on that brush, you're not gonna be left with muddy cheeks. It's one of those products that it's like your skin still somehow comes through, but you're still left with this like bronze almost tint sort of look, rather than like a full coverage sort of bronzer. The sheen in it is just stunning. I do want to see if there's a deeper shade for the summertime. This is the Prismatic highlighter in 202 Twilight Gleam. It is the highlighter that I'm wearing today, and as you can see, just like the bronzer, it's one of those highlighters where you're not left with such an opaque finish like the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors or just any intense highlighter. It's one where your skin can still peek through, but you're still left with just a very nice, healthy glow on the skin. I have a little bit of it on the inner corners as well. I think this is probably my favorite highlighter from the drugstore. I've gotten a ton of use out of this one. Next up, we have a primer from Revlon. This is from their Photo Ready Prime Plus line. It's the Perfecting and Smoothing, the one that comes in the pink bottle. I've used the yellow one in the past, did not like it. It burned my eyes. I kind of stayed away from this just because with the words perfecting and smoothing, I thought it was going to be a very thick silicone professional sort of primer. While those do a great job of blurring, they just feel a lot heavier on the face. This gives you that same effect where it blurs out those fine lines and pores, but it doesn't feel heavy and thick on the face where it just like, you know, sometimes products feel like you can go in with a paint scraper and it's just gonna roll up. I know I've used that description a lot, but that's just what I feel that those thick sort of products do. I know I feel like I have a lot of glosses and lip products in this video, but I mean, it's what my top favorite is. The Revlon Super Lustrous glosses are incredible. Indulge in it, and then I think it's called Nude Attitude. It's Nude something. I had shown it in a recent IG Reels. If you guys are curious of some of my like favorite products from Ulta under $10, definitely go check that out on my feed. Another one I've been liking lately is Snow Pink. I will just go in with MAC Strip Down and apply a little bit of this on top, and just gives you really juicy looking lips. The only thing is I really wish these had a better scent. They should smell like mint or vanilla, but it smells like bubble solution. Just like, yeah, like Mr. Bubble Bubbles. I hate the smell, but indulge in it if you're just looking for a great dusty rose mauve type of nude shade. That shade is a winner, chicken dinner. Wet n Wild. This one was kind of hard for me just because Wet n Wild makes some great products. Hands down, my holy grail, most used product from Wet n Wild is their Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. Make sure you get dewy. It's my most reach for foundation, whether we're talking high-end or drugstore. I have shown this foundation so much love. I just adore it. I need a darker shade. This is like my winter shade. I have another shade over there, but I do need to go get a deeper shade. It doesn't come with a pump. I need to go through and look at like my Estee Lauder and MAC and NARS pumps and see which of those would fit on here. It's just a paddle applicator. I just pour a little bit out onto a palette and apply it that way. But if you love dewy foundations that are lightweight on the skin, buildable to a like medium full sort of coverage, you would love this foundation. Anytime a friend texts me asking for a dewy foundation from the drugstore, this is the one I recommend. I just simply adore it. These are other products that I've mentioned in a skin tint video as well as a speed reviews video, so I'm not gonna talk about them too long, but the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, this stuff is $4.99. If you are looking for an amazing tinted moisturizer from the drugstore, this is it. It has a buildable medium coverage. It definitely starts off more light, but it's just, I mean, it's amazing, especially for the price point. The only thing is the shade range, I think there's only like 12 shades and it's not a very good 12 shade range. It might not even be 12. And hyaluronic acid, squalane, oil-free, sheer to medium coverage. It's so good. The product that I picked up whenever I first purchased that is the Wet n Wild Correct primer, but definitely collect this primer. I have mine in yellow. It comes in green as well. This is such a beautiful primer. Not everyone loves primer. I don't get those people. I personally love primer, but if you are looking for something that feels both hydrating and just very glowy on the skin, okay, first, this is how it starts, right? It's very healthy glow. Do you see, like, there's no glitter, but you just get this healthy golden sheen to your face. It's the perfect base. If you're a primer lover, just go get this. Let me know what you think. I feel like you're gonna love it. And finally, last but certainly not least, we have e.l.f. The Ultimate Blending Brush. This one is $6. If you still haven't purchased this, I don't know what you're doing. It is incredible. Whether you want to use it for liquid foundation, tinted moisturizer, it's my go-to cream bronzer blush. If you have the Danessa Myricks Power Bronzer that I always rave about, or the Huda Beauty Tantour, or the Tower 28 blushes, or basically any cream blush or bronzer, please get this brush. It will make you love your cream I want to say bronzers and blushes. It will make you love your cream bronzers 10 times more. Something about this brush is just magical. The density is just right. The length of the bristles are just to die for. Something about it, I'm telling you, it makes cream bronzer a breeze. Honestly, it's made cream bronzer my favorite step in my makeup routine just because every single time, this brush never lets me down. It doesn't matter what cream bronzer I'm using, it always ends up perfect because this brush. The Putty Primer, I would say this one and then the Revlon Pore Blurring Primer are definitely my two favorite blurring primers when we're talking drugstore. But if we're talking of all time, it would be these two and then the Tatcha Silk Primer Liquid. All three of those do an amazing job of blurring your pores. I would say this one melts into the skin even easier than the Revlon one. I have a feeling this will expire before I ever get through it because you really only need a little bit and it just hides your pores. It's like, or I guess more like pat, 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 pores, be gone. Okay, and then the very final product I have from e.l.f. is actually the foundation that I'm wearing today. This is the Flawless Satin Foundation. I wear mine in Sand, 300 Sand, neutral undertones, oil-free, medium coverage. It's another formula that feels very thin on the face. It's not quite as liquidy and runny as the Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear from L'Oreal, but it's still very light on the skin. Why do I keep slouching? I feel like I'm over here looking like freaking Larry King, like, that's not very nice. He died, rest in peace. Something that I can wear all day long without feeling like, okay, I'm eager to wash my face, I need to get this off. But I feel like it's still also very friendly for both dry and oily skin types because it's not overly glowy, it's not overly matte. Honestly, e.l.f. did a great job of calling this satin just because so many other foundations will claim to be a satin finish, but then I find them to be like way more matte over satin. This definitely is a true satin finish formula. Water Bright, that's some high quality H2O. Okay, and there you have it. There are my top 3/4 favorites from drugstore, or I guess more well-known or popular drugstore brands. Let me know if you guys would like to see a high-end version of this, and leave some of your favorites down below. You don't have to go over every brand if you don't want to, but even if you just picked like 2 or 3 and told me your top 3 favorites, share with the class. That way we can read them, and maybe there's some like mystery products we've been missing out on. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you haven't already, I would love if you subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any future videos. If you did like what you saw today, if you give this video a thumbs up, it really helps me and my channel out. I would very much appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day, be a good person, and I will see you next time. Bye.